The Wirtgen W250XF cold milling machine runs 900 kilowatts of peak power through two John Deere 18-liter engines. It strips asphalt at production rates no Caterpillar cold planer has matched in the field. Caterpillar builds cold planers too. The PM622 and the PM825, assembled at a production facility in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Real machines on real American job sites operated by real paving crews running night shifts on federal highway contracts. But for decades, a German family-owned company called Wirtgen has owned the cold milling category worldwide. Over 50% global market share in most regions. 5 premium brands under one corporate roof, covering every stage of road construction from hot mix asphalt plants to tandem roller compaction. But in 2017, something happened that changed the competitive picture permanently. John Deere wrote a check for $5.2 billion and bought Wirtgen outright, not to compete with Caterpillar in excavators or dozers, to own the one road construction category that Cat could never crack. If you follow the construction equipment market, subscribe. This story explains why Caterpillar lost the cold milling war to a family business from a small German town called Wirtgen. The company started in November 1961 when a man named Reinhard Wirtgen founded a small contracting business in Wirtgen, a town in the Rhineland-Palatinate region of Western Germany. Wirtgen sits about 30 kilometers southeast of Bonn, surrounded by farmland and Rhineland hills. At the time, Wirtgen was not a manufacturer. The company took on road construction contracts, built local infrastructure, and maintained regional highways in a country still rebuilding its road network after the war. But Reinhard Wirtgen was an engineer at heart. He watched his own crews tear up old asphalt with jackhammers and front loaders, hauling debris off-site by the truckload, and he saw a process that was slow, wasteful, and imprecise. So he started designing his own machines to fix it. By the late 1970s, Wirtgen had developed cold milling technology that could remove asphalt without heating it, grinding the surface layer with a rotating drum fitted with rows of tungsten carbide cutting tools. The drum spun against the pavement at controlled depth, peeling up old asphalt in a continuous pass and feeding the milled material onto a conveyor belt behind the machine. The process was faster, cheaper, and more precise than anything available from American or Japanese manufacturers at the time. It turned road rehabilitation from a slow demolition job into a controlled, repeatable industrial process that could be measured in lane kilometers per shift. By 1981, Wirtgen machines had crossed over into an entirely different industry. The same milling drum technology that stripped asphalt off highways could cut through rock. Wirtgen introduced surface mining equipment that could extract iron ore, limestone, and coal without drilling or blasting. By 1987, the company had pioneered cold recycling, a process that mills the old asphalt surface, blends it with binding agents on site, and lays it back down as a stabilized road base. Every technology breakthrough opened a new product category. Every new product category expanded the company's reach deeper into the road construction workflow. And this is where the Wirtgen story becomes something bigger than one machine or one patent. The family did not just build cold milling equipment in Wirtgen, they assembled an entire ecosystem of road construction brands, each one a specialist in a different phase of the same project. Wirtgen, headquartered in Ludwigshafen, became the asphalt paver manufacturer. Hamm, based in Tirschenreuth in Bavaria, became the roller and compaction equipment specialist. Kellyman, operating out of Göppingen in Baden-Württemberg, built mobile crushing and screening plants. Benninghoven, located in Mullenbach, produced asphalt mixing plants that fed the entire production chain, and Cyber, the Brazilian brand, served Latin American markets with locally adapted equipment, 5 premium brands across 5 countries, each one covering a different phase of the same workflow. A municipal road crew in Texas could mill the old surface with a Wirtgen cold planer, crush the removed material through a Kleemann mobile jaw crusher, mix new asphalt at a Benninghoven hot mix plant, lay fresh pavement with a Vogel super paver, and compact it smooth with a Hamm tandem roller. One corporate family supplying the entire project from demolition to final pass. No other manufacturer on earth offered that kind of vertical coverage in road construction. Caterpillar never built this depth of integration in road building. Cat's cold planers competed on individual machine specs, but the Wirtgen group competed on the entire job site. And the machine that sits at the center of the Wirtgen portfolio is the W250XF, 900 kilowatts of peak power from dual John Deere 18-liter diesel engines, a milling width of up to 3.8 meters, and a system called Mill Assist that fundamentally changed how operators run cold milling machines on American highway contracts. Mill Assist is an automated control system built into the W250XF that monitors real-time load on the milling drum and continuously adjusts engine speed, drum rotation rate, water spray volume, and machine advance speed without the operator manually tuning each variable. Before Mill Assist, an operator on a large cold planer had to balance all four inputs by feel and experience, constantly adjusting as pavement hardness changed across the work zone. Mill Assist took those decisions and automated them, letting the operator focus on steering and depth while the machine optimized everything else. On a highway rehabilitation project running a night shift under portable floodlights with traffic cones and concrete barriers separating the work zone from live traffic, the W250XF can hold milling depth accuracy within millimeters across hundreds of meters of interstate pavement. That kind of consistency matters when the paving crew behind you needs a surface milled to exact grade. Caterpillar's PM622 and PM825 are capable cold planers built by American engineers. The PM825 runs a Cat C18 diesel engine, and on a straight comparison of rated horsepower, the two manufacturers overlap. But on a large-scale American interstate rehabilitation contract where the milling phase determines the timeline for the paving crew, the concrete crew, and every subcontractor behind them, project managers have consistently specified Wirtgen. The production envelope on the W250XF, combined with Mill Assist automation, gives a paving superintendent a tighter schedule with fewer passes and less rework. If you are getting value from this, hit subscribe. I cover the heavy equipment market every week. Now the acquisition itself. On June 1st, 2017, John Deere formally announced it was acquiring the Wirtgen Group. The equity price was 4.357 billion euros. The total transaction value, including assumed obligations, reached approximately 4.6 billion euros. At the exchange rate on the date of the announcement, that equaled roughly 5.2 billion US dollars. It was the largest acquisition in John Deere's entire corporate history. Larger than any combine harvester deal, larger than any agricultural equipment purchase the Moline, Illinois headquarters had ever approved. Deere was paying a premium to enter road construction at global scale, and they did it by buying the single most dominant player in the category. At the time of the deal, Wirtgen employed approximately 8,000 people across production facilities and sales offices in over 100 countries. Stefan Wirtgen and Jürgen Wirtgen, the managing partners and sons of founder Reinhard Wirtgen, signed the agreement personally. The Wirtgen brothers reportedly chose Deere specifically because of the company's long-term ownership philosophy and its track record of preserving acquired brands rather than absorbing them into a generic corporate structure. Reinhard Wirtgen himself had passed away in 2012 at the age of 71, but the family wanted the brand he built in Winhagen to remain intact under a corporate parent that would invest in the engineering culture, not strip it for quarterly earnings. And that is exactly what happened after the deal closed. Production stayed centered at the Winhagen campus in the Rhineland. The five brands kept their separate names, their separate engineering teams, and their separate product lines. Research and development budgets grew under Deere's worldwide construction and forestry division. The machines are still engineered in Germany by German road construction engineers. The milling drum still carries the Wirtgen name stamped into the steel housing. What John Deere bought was not just a company with a strong product line. Deere bought over 50% global market share in cold milling and road paving across most regions of the world. Operating margins were estimated between 14 and 16% on mission-critical specialized equipment that governments and contractors cannot substitute with cheaper alternatives. And Deere bought a direct pipeline to every major infrastructure spending program in the developed world, including the United States Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which allocated hundreds of billions of federal dollars toward highway rehabilitation, bridge repair, and road resurfacing across all 50 states. For Caterpillar, headquartered in Deerfield, Illinois, the Deere acquisition changed the competitive landscape entirely. Before 2017, Wirtgen was a formidable but independent competitor in cold milling, a family-owned German specialist that Cat could try to outspend on marketing, dealer networks, and trade show presence, even if Cat could not match the W250XF in the field. After 2017, Wirtgen had John Deere's balance sheet behind every engineering decision, Deere's global dealer network feeding sales leads on every continent, and Deere's purchasing leverage driving down raw material costs on everything from steel plate to tungsten carbide cutting tools. Caterpillar's PM Series cold planers still exist on the market. The PM620, the PM622, the PM825. They still roll off the production line in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. They still appear on American job sites next to orange traffic barrels and survey stakes. Cat dealers still sell them, Cat technicians still service them, and Cat Finance still leases them to paving contractors across the country. But the cold milling category has not received the same scale of research and development investment that Cat has directed toward excavators, hydraulic dozers, and ultra-class haul trucks in the mining division. And now, the gap that Wirtgen opened as an independent family company is being widened by a competitor backed by one of the largest equipment corporations in North America. When John Deere bought Wirtgen for $5.2 billion, it essentially bought Caterpillar's cold planer problem, the one-road construction category where a European family business from a small town in the Rhineland had been outperforming yellow iron for decades. And instead of trying to close the engineering gap machine by machine, Cat's biggest American rival simply acquired the company that caused the problem in the first place. The milling drums still spin in Windhagen. The Wirtgen name still sits on every machine that rolls out of the factory gates. The only thing that changed is the signature on the checks. Subscribe for more on how the construction equipment market actually works.